A throbbing migraine got you out of the game? Want relief for your aching head? Help is here, you knucklehead! Pow, boom, bang! Your headache's away! This non-FDA-approved miracle medicine goes to work right away on your headache, firing off neurons so it's like you're hearing me, Rob Riggle, up in your dome, non-stop! Pow, bam! Pain receptors get so overloaded, it's like electrical power surge, and your brain goes into complete pain blackout. Pow! Pain gone! Pow!
And my migraines are gone. Thanks, Rob.
Boom! You're welcome. Zam! Available at CVS, Walgreens, Dwayne Reed. Oh, and the box score. Shots right, pow! Bing, bang, bang, pow, pow, pow!
I don't know a lot about sports, but I can drink a lot of beer.
My motto is simple. C's get degrees.
Need a long, inappropriate hug? I'm your man.
I think I'm smarter than you, because I probably am.
Howard Cowards for box score. Hello and welcome to the Box Score. I'm Brock in Los Angeles. They are the Danettes in Milford, Connecticut. Another controversial ending in the NFL last night has given everyone a headache. McLovin, how is it that this rule got by everyone last night?
God, I don't know. Because although this is total Tuesday morning quarterback, something looked fishy to me. Like, I didn't think it was wrong, but when he batted the ball, I'm like, what? You can do that? I immediately was like, what? And the announcers were like, wow, what a great place. I'm like, oh, I guess you can do that.
Yeah, I didn't have much of a reaction at all. I watched it. I was asleep probably 90 seconds after the play. But, I mean, I saw it, I was like, oh, good play. Good. Because that's the smartest thing you can do is get that ball out of bounds.
Speaking of things getting by, Brock, how exactly did that purple shirt get by anyone allowing you on TV?
Wow.
I have no idea. Wow. This is my nightclubbing shirt. Why don't you like this thing? I've made it myself, fresh off the loom.
Kansas State logo shirt.
You could fit 3 Chris Kattans in that shirt, and he owns that shirt.
What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. All right, on with the show, and we'll get back to a criticism of me and my weight and my shirts. The debate went from smart play or dumb rule, and of course that meant only one thing. It was hammer time.
You really have that much of a problem with what he did that you like that rule that you can't knock it out like that? He got to the ball first. He's got an opportunity to get the ball out of there and save the game for his team. I'm not sure why that's such a horrible rule that he can't do that. Like in basketball, the ball's going out of bounds. You can't save it, but you're allowed to push it off the player's knee.
Yeah, but once again, you're getting into basketball. This is football. So don't bring in other plays or other sports. It's this play, this moment wasn't a smart play.
I think they need to look at the rule. I think that to me and most people, it looked like a smart thing to do. The guy saved the game. That he saved the game.
The hammer.
Man, you don't want Fritzy to be your enemy.
Getting angry now.
You do not want him to be your enemy.
Don't piss me off.
Yeah, whatever. Brock, are you in a character in a movie called Eggplant Man, like a new superhero where you're like a man who's half man, half eggplant, and you have to wear a purple shirt for that? Is it a new job?
No,
forget about it. Let's move on.
What this is, I am Barney. I am going to come back for I love you, you love me. We'll get that.
Barney Man.
I thought it was a shout out to Grimace because of the whole McDonald's thing. You can get breakfast like all day.
Are we sponsored by
it's a
McDonald's?
Grimace shout out. Breakfast all day.
That's what I thought.
McDonald's sponsorship. That's right. But you know, actually, I'm gonna side with Fritzy here. I thought he had a pretty good point comparing it to other sports, and I didn't think Dan stayed with Fritzy's comparison long enough because I think Fritzy had a pretty fair sport comparison. Sometimes Dan says, well, don't take it out of the sport. I go, well, sometimes you have to look at other sports and how they officiate and judge their sport and what's legal in another sport. So I thought Fritzy's comparison was apt.
He kind of shooed me on the basketball.
Well, I gotta be honest.
I think that a lot of times we spend more time on, but imagine if this happened.
True.
Instead of, well, no, let's just look at what actually happened instead of imagine if it was this. Like, no, let's just stick with what it is.
Well, I got to be honest, that it is almost as if you had been booking guests for the first 9 minutes of that segment because we had discussed every point you had in there, and then you came back and reiterated exactly what me and Paulie had said. Ooh. I thought there was a little reiteration, and that's why Dan blew.
What was I reiterating? I was just giving my opinion on what I thought. I thought we were all kind of weighing in on what we thought.
But I thought you restated my opinion. Pretty word for word at a certain point of that tape.
With the basketball analogy?
So Dan actually should have shoo-shooed you.
He probably should have shoo-shooed me.
And then maybe I would have got the hint.
But I felt like, wait, I just said that. Which made me believe that sometimes you don't listen to my take.
I think sometimes I don't listen to everyone's take because I'm dealing with emails or...
Yes, and also because I specifically saw you dealing with an email when I was giving my take.
That happens and will always happen throughout the show where I do the best I can to catch as much as I can. If I waited till like the end of the show to deal with some of the...
Not the end of the show, but maybe break.
Yeah, it's tough though because they
It's tough.
come filing in. I would literally have hundreds of emails that
I have a good view of your life. It is not fun. I totally understand.
Yeah, true, but I think sometimes during a discussion segment, maybe the first segment of the show, you could say, I'm going to turn this off for 6 minutes,
There's
7
definitely
minutes.
middle ground.
And then when there's Dennis Eckersley for 12 minutes, then, all right, catch up. Or during the breaks. Because sometimes you do get caught saying something that has been said 4 minutes ago because you're dealing with it. I know you got a different job than everybody else with the emails.
The NBA thing was new.
Yeah, but that's fair because it's and there's no real formula to try to figure out the right moment. But sometimes I have to. Sometimes you zone out a little bit, and you may have missed what someone said, and then you run the risk of saying something exactly the same or at least very similar because you were responding.
No, I felt like you just didn't care about my take time.
You should not.
He
cared so little about it that he then took it as his own.
I can assure you he didn't care about
he really liked it.
May have heard it though.
Yeah, if I'm missing, something that someone said, it's not because I'm like I don't care what you guys are saying. It's because I was caught not paying attention to it, which will happen often.
Maybe. Mr. Seaton, hi. Purple Kool-Aid Box Score News. Question for you. Talk about how the rules are more confusing in the NFL than in any other sport.
Talk about it.
I think all you really need to know about the NFL is that even the people who are in charge, they're literally their only job is to know the rules, don't understand the rules.
Yeah.
That's how confusing the game is.
The physically closest person wearing stripes.
His entire purpose in life last night was to make sure that he got calls like that right. Or at least know that, like, wait a minute, is that guy supposed to knock that out of bounds like that or no? I think there's a rule about that, especially on my part of the field right now that I'm in charge of covering.
It was also interesting that Paulie found. I don't know if you guys have seen that too. I didn't realize that the official that was there looked like he was about to blow the whistle.
Well, you also blow your whistle when there's out of bounds.
Yeah, it went out of bounds, so he would have blown it.
But he kind of looked like he was like.
He looked like he was going to blow it. Like,
maybe we're all reading into it because we know the magnitude of what happened.
He would have had to reach for his. He should have
right.
reached for his flag because it is a penalty.
He did have a quizzical look upon his face. If you notice the lines here and here, he appeared quizzical.
Like, what do you think was going through his mind?
Confused, like,
Am I supposed to do something?
What the hell am I supposed to be doing?
I think he was
right
like,
now?
holy crap, isn't there some rule against this? I think there was definitely a holy crap moment in his head. Like, wait, am I supposed to? That would have been a big call if he had called that. Oh, man.
Yeah, they give them tests and quizzes associated with all this stuff. All right, well, anyway, you guys turned to Mike Florio for clarification on this ruling, and when you had access to his brilliant legal and football mind, Dan asked him this question.
Think you could take Gruden?
That one, I don't know. I think he's a little bit of a fake tough guy, though, frankly.
Really?
We're not on the air, are we?
No, we're not on the air. So Gruden's
I've said that. I'm on the record. I've said that before on the air in Philadelphia, so that's why I wasn't hesitant to say it again.
So you think you could take Gruden?
Now, I don't know. That one would be closer. That one may go to the judges.
If he wears the visor, Mike, it's go time, though. And I might go Gruden. If he has the visor on, I might go Gruden.
Well, you can't read his eyes then. You don't know which way he's coming from. If he pulls it down real tight, you don't know whether he's coming left or right or what he's going to do.
Yeah, I had a little trouble buying this argument. Gruden might be a fake tough guy, but he was like a Division I quarterback. I feel like his
quarterback.
Yeah, quarterbacks aren't tough.
Yeah,
they're tough, but like I think he.
But that scowl alone.
Not that Mike's not tough, but I just don't see Mike handling.
Mike was a lawyer. He could verbally pound him to death.
And I get that fake tough guy, but I have a feeling Chucky might be strong. Am I crazy?
You know, I got a lot of people who said, well, Mike Florio, he's a little runt. I'm like, Mike's like 5'11", maybe 175. He actually is in pretty good shape. Doesn't seem like a fighter on the surface.
Doesn't seem like a fighter.
But maybe those years of getting skipped over.
Yeah. And Gruden looks like he can get really angry. There's that whole Chucky scowl thing. It looks like he can get into this.
I feel like, and Gruden's got big, like he's a big dude. Like he's got big thighs with those coaching shorts he always wore in the 90s.
Yeah.
I feel like Gruden's a solid little guy.
I'm hoping this gets to Gruden. Any comments on it? You know, I hate to start a story that's out of nowhere.
People calling me a fake tough guy.
Yeah, tell you this, Florio, I'll kick your ass and Patrick's.
Yeah, maybe they get together and just beat the crap out of each other, turn each other black and blue, and or purple, which is the very fall color. All right, coming up, we're putting one of the BRG guys on the trading block. What am I trading my BRG guy in for? A truck, a Ram 1500 Eco Diesel. I think that's perfectly logical there. Climb a hill, haul a trailer, tow a boat, and is the most fuel-efficient half-ton truck on the world. BRG can't claim that. Get more facts at ramtrucks.com. Guts, glory, Ram. The Box Score presents great moments in DP Show history. Thanks for watching Great Moments in DP Show History. We are back here on the box score. If we're running that clip, that can mean only one thing, that Matt Forte joined the show today. Paulie, did taking that stiff arm to the back of your head sort of form the relationship between you and Mr. Forte?
I guess if that's a relationship, it was a pretty quick relationship. He hit me, I fell down. And but you know what? I sent him a note on the Twitter not too long ago. I said, hey, if you guys don't make the Super Bowl, we'll have you back in studio and we'll redo it. And I think Dan brought it up a month ago on air. Said, you know, if you're not in the Super Bowl, come by the set Super Bowl week and we'd have a rematch. Fair to say they're probably not going to be in the Super Bowl, so I better get ready for late January, early February.
Well, are you and Forte still talking trash to Clay Matthews on the Twitter?
That was really funny. That was a couple weeks ago that we said something like, we tried to get Forte to do bulletin board material. He said something on the show like, yeah, screw you, Clay Matthews, something like that. And then we joked on the Twitter about his small shoulder pads, and Clay Matthews saw it, which was pretty shocking the day because Clay goes, hey, one of your guys there has been clowning me on Twitter. And for a second I was like, I wonder who that is. I'm like, oh, that's me. I just assume it was Andrew, just because usually the mentions like that go through Andrew. And I was like, oh, that's me. And you see me on the screen, and you look at it, my face kind of get red, like, oh boy, this is something.
Yeah, I may be provocative, Paulie, but I'm not stupid. I'm not going to clown Clay Matthews on. You're out of your mind.
Funny thing was, Clay Matthews, and McLovin, you were with me. We ran into Clay Matthews a couple years ago. Was it New Orleans Super Bowl? And I remember he did that little thing, stiff arm to my chest, and I fell down. We saw him later that night, and I walked over. I go, hey, thanks for being fun on the show today. He goes, that's good. He goes, I didn't hit you too hard, did I? I'm like, no, you took it pretty easy. He goes, I could have hit you a lot harder. I'm like, yeah, I'm glad you didn't. And
wait, I remember that moment. He did not hit you lightly by any means.
No, but like, for him it was lightly. For me it wasn't. You know,
yeah, like I remember, like you didn't breathe for like 50 seconds.
I remember being shocked at how fast his hands moved.
Yeah, it was.
And like he was able, like he swiped both of your arms away, gave you a shot in the like ribs or something, and moved you right out of the. It was crazy.
When you say light, I don't think oxygen got to your brain for about a minute.
it was a shot right here, and I wasn't expecting it. But for him, it was as light as he could go and still be doing anything.
Yes. He knew you were mortal, so he had to take advantage of that. Well, your buddy Matt Forte was rumored to be traded after Chicago had that big fire sale, and Chicago started 0-3. But he told Dan that he is going to stay and play to win.
That's the point. I mean, that's what I'm trying to do, is be on a winning team, and that's why I'm trying to help this team win as much as possible. And you know, just because we were 0-3 and now 1-3 doesn't mean that I want to be traded so I can get on a team that has a winning record or something like that. You know, I'd rather, you know, be on the team that I'm on and continue to try to, you know, make this team get to the playoffs.
Yeah, that's really interesting stuff from Matt Forte, although I'm still more concerned about Brock's purple shirt. I heard rumors of after the show what he's doing.
Yeah, he joined an ice skating group, ice dancing.
I thought I heard something about
So is this program, Brock, after the show, is this going to be your single routine, or is it with a partner, is it double?
This is not the doubles routine. This is as I am Aladdin in Aladdin on Ice, and I am not the lead, but I am Bonjibi, who is a secondary character, works with the courtesans of the court, I believe.
Is this the tour or a local?
Are you wearing leg warmers right now?
It started off, it was a small off-Broadway ice skating affair, but then I think this may go national, so fingers crossed. All right, anyway.
How tough is it to get all that glitter off?
You know, you shampoo and you use a reasonable oil-based soap, like an Oil-Olay, and that takes it off. It leaves a soft skin and shiny, so it fits under here. This is beautiful. All right, Welch's Grape will be back. Stick around, we're going to talk about DanDuel next. Welcome back to the Box Score. We have completed 4 weeks in the DanDuel Challenge, and the big man, the boss, shocked the world, but not in a good way, as he came in last and had a do not finish the first week, but the weeks 2 and 3 he finished last. But this week he has turned it around, and he is all the way at the top of the heap, and he finished on top of all men in the man cave. In Fuego with 110 points. He's the only one to finish over 100 points. Seton, what type of victory lap did DP do this morning?
Nothing really. He was actually sort of act like you've been there before. His win is really interesting though, because he didn't really have any huge people. Like, it was a real down
Because the rest
week.
of us had such low numbers.
He got a lot out of his tight end and kicker.
But if you look at it, he had no whiffs. He didn't have a 2-point dude or a 3-point dude, which really takes you down. You can't have anyone on your team. I looked at the guys who win. Sometimes I look at the top 10. They have nobody who whiffs for them completely.
In single digits. You have at least double digits, and then a couple 20, 30, something like that.
The thin line between like first place and like, I mean, it's a real thin line. You're talking about like 20 points. That's one of the real revelations of FanDuel for me is like how close you are. Like every touchdown matters. It's like 200 spots.
Totally.
Well, another running story has been Fritzy constantly finishing in second place, but he has put all that behind him and is finished dead last amongst the Danettes in the man cave with a mere 77 points.
Long overdue.
Fritzy, have you lost your fantasy mojo?
I hope not. That was brutal. I was really excited. Not that I thought I was going to get second place every single week, but I was certainly shooting for a first or second place finish. And after 3 weeks of being in second place, I thought, hey, maybe I know what this is all about. It's
your running backs really came through for you there.
I got 0 from Ryan Matthews and 2.7, I think, from Carlos Hyde. If you're going to have 2 running backs that total under 3 points, unless I got like 30, 40 points from a few of the other guys, I knew it was going to be low. But I think I finished like 1,780th out of 2,000, so that was not good. And I'm not shocked based on at least what my running backs did that I finished in dead last. But we'll bounce back. We'll get right back to the middle of the pack where I like to be. Me and
your team?
My players.
Yeah, we got a Frenchman in your pocket. All right, Fritzy finishing last prevented Seton from making the epic first to last transition, but he did come in fourth with 89 points. You took the bait on Joseph Randall after his third 3-touchdown performance in week 3, and it didn't pay off. But that's not going to keep you from taking a gamble or two the rest of the season, right?
No, of course. I mean, I don't really feel like I took any gambles there. I felt like they were all sure things for some reason. Especially my kicker. I thought I was going to get like 20 points out of Josh Brown, and that definitely didn't work out. I mean, other than that, everybody did pretty well, except for, Kelsey. That kind of stunk. I don't know what happened there, but whatever, man. That could have just as easily given me, that lineup could have given me 200 points.
Totally.
Just as easily, any other weekend. So.
Yeah, the Chiefs felt like kicking field goals. Paulie has been steadily improving as the weeks go by, and this week he made the jump from 4th to 3rd this week, finishing with 92 points. We've gotten to week 4, and you've made the transition from last to 4th, now 3rd. Paul, if we set the over-under on your first place finish at week 8, what are you taking?
Yeah, I think I'll get one. I think I'll snag one at one point during the season. I felt, if you remember last week, I said I'm either going to finish in first or last, and of course I finished in 3rd. It shows I can't even predict that. But you know what? I was pretty happy with the team I put together. A couple guys I took risks on just totally bombed for me. So I feel like I'm learning the game every week. But then one of these weeks I'm going to come in last and realize I don't know the game at all. But I'm proud of my team. We're just here to compete. Yeah,
just here to compete.
Taking one week at a time.
Well, the boss may have topped all the Danettes this week, but the Danette who was on top of the other Danettes, of course, was McLovin. His team put up 93 points this week, allowing him to flex some fantasy muscle. And hopped off the Tyler Eifert bandwagon this week and went with Charles Clay, who scored 15 points for you. Is he your new tight end man crush?
Oh, that's so funny you say that, Brock. I'm definitely riding anybody who scores at the tight end position for me is staying in the lineup. Same with you know what my real problem has been? Kicker. I can't get a good kicker.
Now, wouldn't you think like a guy like Charles Clay who's not a star, you'd not take him next week and pick a star who had an off week? Like if Tyler Eifert has 2 points one week, my new strategy, I don't know if I'm sharing something.
You'll get like 12 next week.
But like if Tyler Eifert, who's a pretty good player, has 2 one week, well, he rarely would have 2 bad weeks in a row. It goes back to the old fantasy baseball where if Greg Maddux lost, you'd bomb him the next week because you think he's not going to lose to him.
Well, it's funny because that theory in the opposite killed me. I took A.J. Green after he went off last week.
Right.
A.J. Green had 2 men on him when he went out to the bathroom at halftime. He had 2 guys.
Because nobody can go off in this league. Nobody can go off every week. I mean, that'd be like O.J. Simpson.
Yeah, it's an adjustment league. Which, by the way, like the problem is everybody else kind of has their theories too. So, it's hard. It is hard week to week.
All right, well, congrats to Dan Patrick, the big winner in week 4. Be sure to check us out Thursday for our FanDuel Draft Day, as we'll do every Thursday on the box score. All right, stay with us. We will stand still, much like a still life, on a big bowl of grapes. But first, it's the box score. We're taking a break to remind you that the Ram Heavy Duty, with its best-in-class towing, torque, and horsepower, doesn't need one. guts. Glory Ram. Welcome back to Blades of Glory. No, it's the box score. Every day the Dan Patrick Show ends with something we call in the industry a rollout, but today it was something entirely different.
Seton, Paulie, Fritz, and McLovin, yours truly. This has been the Dan Patrick Show.
We decided. I think Seton's idea. He goes. We found out that we were having a little technical issue and our rollout couldn't play, so they were just going to do a look in at us with no audio. Was it your idea? Are you doing the freeze? Now you do it.
Now he's doing the freeze. He didn't do it the first time.
Oh, yeah, I think it might have been my idea, but we stole it from Naked Gun at a show where they would freeze. And their freeze is something that would always be moving in the background that would disrupt everything.
Yeah. It's a great Naked Gun homage. And we had to plan it, but we had to plan it with very little time and very little cue. So what we were going to do is, I told Dan, I go, when we go to, this has been the Dan Patrick Show, and the music rolls, everyone freeze. But we also had to cue it. So what I did is I put my drink up to my mouth so you couldn't see my mouth. I went, freeze. And everyone froze.
And then we had Twos be the ruiner.
The walkthrough guys.
Have him walk through to show that
it was solid and improving.
Well, no, everyone was supposed to stay still, but McLovin, for some reason, had to touch his schnoz. Was something itching you that bad?
Yeah, I mean, kind of like part of the gag is everybody moves a little bit. In Naked Gun, I'm just telling you, and it's hysterical. Like Frank Drebin would always be like, anything like this throughout it's like a 2-minute freeze.
You want to throw the BS flag? Did you do that on purpose?
Yes, I did it 3 times till the camera caught me. Yeah, I did do it on purpose.
He is right though. It is a little funny if like he just went.
Yeah.
Like that, like just a little subtle.
Yeah, I was amazed by it, and I also had an itch, but I was also amazed that you guys actually stood so still. When I saw it back, I'm like, wow, those guys are stacked.
Sometimes I can't control laughing, and I had my drink up there, so I figured if I start laughing, and I'm trying not to breathe too much like this, and just trying to say, like, am I going cross-eyed right now?
I think you said like blinking was the toughest thing.
You were the most vulnerable. Like you were right there in front of the camera. You didn't move an inch.
Like I'm trying to hold my eyes there without blinking. It's tough to not blink.
Yeah, the blinking was impossible.
Well, let's go to the blinkless Todd Fritz, who's on tomorrow.
We will talk to former Cubs All-Star pitcher Kerry Wood as the Cubs get ready to take on the Pirates tomorrow in the wild card game in the National League. And Steve Mariucci, former Niners coach, currently NFL Network analyst, will join us as well on Wednesday.
Thank you, gentlemen. If you'll excuse me, I'm done with my box score duties, so it is off to the rink and to impress the hundreds of people
Hi, Donny Osmond.
who see me. Happy birthday to Stanback, our fearless leader.
I don't know a lot about sports, but I can drink a lot of beer. My motto is simple: C's get degrees.
Need a long, inappropriate hug? I'm your man.
I think I'm smarter than you, because I probably am.
Hey, thanks for watching the box score. Holy cow!